Entanglement. What are you thinking, Rimmer?
You tell me, because I don't know that I ever got the full story of the song. Obviously, I know the process in which we decided to come to that, which was very last minute. Because what were we going to... I guess we had a few songs that we were sort of trying to be like, we know we're doing these three. Elvis, what do you want to do? Like, how do we want to whatever? And I think we decided to kind of like sort of take a chance on writing this song pretty much. I mean, you had it written. We ended up changing it as Elvis was like, it's not there yet. And then I think we got it there. Yeah. But that was cool. I mean, that was a process of like sitting down with Elvis, which is some cool footage that I really like, of like him with a guitar writing with us all, just kind of jamming,
Yeah.
That's just a really cool.
So great.
That was a good day. Right. It was fun. But, so that was, what did we set a timer for, like an hour? Or like, if we don't have it in an hour, we're going with the safe bet. And then I think we were good, so.
Yeah. So we had a list of these songs that we sent over to him to kind of pre-listen to. And you always want to kind of hear what's perking his ear up. And I think pretty much everybody thought that Entanglement was last on the list. Mm-hmm. The demo version that I had was very sort of like majory ballad, kind of Beatlesy kind of thing. Again, just a piano demo. And I'm sure that everyone was like, this is last on the list. This doesn't, nothing's happening here. And I kind of had this weird feeling in the back of my head that he was going to like it. And I had a little conversation after he told us the songs that he wanted to work on. And Entanglement was, like we had 4 songs. So he was like, this one, this one, this one. And then it was like this song or Entanglement. Mm-hmm. And I was just kind of like, what? I think we were all sort of like, huh? And
I didn't know what Entanglement was when we had that.
You never listened to it.
To be honest with you, I think I listened to it the day before we left. It was whenever it was like, what is Entanglement? But,
yeah. So I remember sitting on the couch with him because the lyrics and the story are really, really important to me. And I remember sitting on the couch with him, just me and him talking, and I was kind of like, man, I'm pretty surprised that you're interested into Entanglement. What's going on there? And he said, well, honestly, when I hear the lyrics and the story, he said, I was worried about you. Like, he hasn't seen us in a long time. He's like, I heard these lyrics, and he's like, I started to really worry about you. Like, are you okay? Is everything all right? And so I knew that in that moment that the concept was really strong, because I felt like that grabbed his attention. Now, what he did say, he said, I love this concept, but I want us to kind of shift the way, like if we're making a movie, maybe rather than making like an action adventure film, maybe we're going to make more like a drama out of it. And so I took that to heart, and I said, well, I can tell it's going to be kind of minor-y. I was like, it's probably going to be B minor-y. And we were just talking about it, and we were like, we want that chorus to just leap off the page, and we want this like, when you talk to Elvis, he's just very much like, and he's like, that's kind of the way I'm hearing it. And so in my mind, pretty quickly, I started to figure out like, well, I think I know what's happening with the chords. And again, time was not on our side. I mean, we only had like 4 or 5 days to record 4 songs, which for Elvis and to the length of detail he goes to, that's hard. Like we pulled a marathon session. And
it was crazy.
And on the last day of writing, it was like, well, we'll give ourselves an hour. If we can't totally change this song over from like yesterday, it was such an easy game to play to like, like if we can't figure this out in an hour, then we're just gonna have to move on. And we started with it, and it kind of started to happen. So musically, it's like a miracle that it came together, really. Mm-hmm. And then Elvis did add that really great kind of Southern rock riffy part, that bridge. He just kind of helped that bridge sort of take off. We had the bridge chord pieces. He just helped that little guitar piece, which he's so good at. And but getting back to the lyrics, entanglement is never said in the song. Now it just says entangled. Originally, the idea of entanglement, it was much more of a specific idea. So that kind of scientific idea about, how things, it's getting into quantum physics. It's very, very smart. But essentially, the entanglement idea came out of a divorce with kids involved, and how these kids become this sort of thing that creates this orbit around it, and how that these two bodies are essentially now they're forever entangled because of these kids, and how that can be so sort of heartbreaking, and how that can be so kind of challenging. And in the original version of the song, and even in the version that we finished up with, there's a sense that, at least for the male in the story, that he's still, the word is, you light me up, he's still lit up by this person in this orbit. He's still, even though there's enormous amount of damage done in this separation, that he's still, he's still deeply moved by this other person and this life that they shared, and now that is, kind of lived in two separate orbits. And I think that's what Elvis was talking about. It's like, man, are you okay? I was like, no, I'm okay, man. But that, to me, I just really love the idea of that kind of scientific concept with this sort of real life story, and how kind of beautiful and heartbreaking it is all at the same time. And we ended up, we got all the pieces finished. I did have to kind of change the story around a little bit, but I still feel like you kind of get I think you get the idea. If not, I wasn't able to go into as much depth, but you get the idea. I'm happy, so that's really the kind of feeling of the song. And I really enjoy it. I mean, some people, it's not everybody's favorite, but some people here appreciate how big it is, how much kind of drama's in it. The chorus, people like. I don't know, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's, of the three songs, it's like and this isn't a bad thing, so it's not being said in a negative context at all. It's definitely we're Pale Rider, Kid and sorry, my mind just went blank. What was the other song we did with it?
New Gospel.
New Gospel, yeah. They're more of like a crowd pleaser type of song. Yeah. To me, it's those types of songs that are kind of meant to get you excited with all these whimsical like guitar riffs and like these really. Entanglement is more of the sort of like, what's the best way to describe it? I mean, I guess because it's actually like really story based. You know what I mean? Like it's like a thinker is maybe the word I'm looking at. It's more of the one that you kind of like listen to and sort of dissect, even musically, like getting into all these different parts. It kind of like you said with the Southern riff, and you get the double riffs and all that kind of stuff, and double leads and all that. Like, it is definitely more of a song that you dissect versus like if you want to listen to something that's just like really catchy and kind of get it. It's just not that type of song, which I think is good to have in this mix. I think it gives this mix of songs a little bit more meaning by kind of going off to sort of be this other thing.
Right.
So that's kind of the spot it has for me. So it's like, it's not the one that I'm constantly like going back to listen to, but it is like, you know what I mean, in the sense of like excitement. But it is. I think it's a very good song, and I love the sort of journey it takes. Is it the longest of the?
I'm not sure. We'll say yes.
I feel like it is, because it does it goes off to do the cool like musical moment, the big like very theatrical kind of feeling thing. No, I love it. I think so when you're saying it's not everybody's favorite, it's kind of like, I think that's why, if you're looking for like instant gratification, I think it's something that you kind of learn to appreciate. Like a Jimmy Eat World or a Killers or somebody that will have this song that is sort of, it's different than the other songs on the album, but like it ends up becoming a favorite because people have had time to sit with it and sort of dissect it and all that stuff. So I don't know what the word for all of that is to describe a song, but but I dig it, man. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
And Yeah, I didn't know that you and Elvis had that conversation about it prior to when we got there. So that's cool that he was like, it stuck out to him. What was the other song that he wanted to do? You remember? Was it Running from the Pain?
Running from the Pain.
Yeah. We got to do that song still, though.
I think it's going to happen.
We got to do it.
I still think it's going to happen.
We got to.
Yeah.
It's coming. Yeah, by God, if those UFOs, if they can defeat that final boss and just push it in 2021.
Yeah.